Hello everyone! This is Sorry and Target welcoming you back to another video talking about Carnivores Dinosaur Hunt, where today we are finally going to be brainstorming some potential new map ideas for when the game is ready for DLC. Digital Dreams are currently working on bug fixes and technical updates, which I think is great and where their focus needs to be right now. You know, my philosophy's always been fix what we've got first and then add new stuff when the base game is ready. So, in the meantime, we're gonna stay busy by speculating and hypothesizing about what new hunting environments we could see in Dinosaur Hunt's future. So, without further ado, let's begin. So, the initial problem that always comes up when conceptualizing new maps for a dinosaur game is, what environments could someone feasibly see and believe a dinosaur existing in that hasn't already been done? It's pretty easy to look at Dinosaur Hunt's current map list and go, let's see, jungle, forest, desert, well, that's it. Time to just make more of those, I guess. But I think we can get a little more creative than that, so here are 5 new map concepts for Dinosaur Hunt that I hope Digital Dreams can at least take some inspiration from for new DLC hunting reserves. To start, I think some kind of vast, open grassland or savanna map would make an excellent addition. Right now, Basmashi Rocks is the only map with lots of clear, open sight lines, where hunters can take full advantage of the sniper rifle's long-range capabilities. And I think another, less forested map would add nicely to the diversity of the location selection. I'm imagining a mixture of desert and grassland, with scattered acacia and baobab trees to add to the more unique look of the map. Some lightly wooded areas could provide some cover between the more exposed plains, while some stretches of tall grass that goes above the player's head would provide some very tense and exciting hunting opportunities. If velociraptors get added to the game, we could finally live out our own moments. I know it might be a bit difficult to believe that a thriving savanna environment could survive on a small, isolated island in the middle of the ocean, Madagascar notwithstanding. So maybe this hypothetical savanna map could be landlocked to a continent. The map barriers could be impassable mountain ranges, or sedimentary rock formations, or even some deep gorges, or some even deeper lakes, while the continental grassland and plains just continue on the out-of-bounds side, just to mix up the borders a little bit and add some variety to our locales. It'd be a real shame to have a dinosaur game and not take advantage of the volcanic island stereotype. So some kind of ominous volcanic wasteland map would also be very cool and fitting. Now, when I say a volcanic wasteland, I'm not necessarily thinking about smoke and rock and death and destruction everywhere. Not so much the ruins after the apocalypse, more like the apocalypse is on the horizon, the calm before the storm, if you will. I'm imagining the locations used to represent the Cretaceous period in the final episode of Walking with Dinosaurs. The area could still be quite lush, with lots of rich green foliage contrasting against the ashen gray ground. Snow-capped mountains could border the reserve, with lots of hills and rock formations surrounded by pockets of forest to break up the more open terrain. And a few active volcanoes rumbling and spewing smoke into the sky would be so ominous. I imagine it'd be a very atmospheric and tense hunting environment. You'd constantly feel on edge, afraid that a dinosaur might get you, or that one of those volcanoes might erupt. Especially if Digital Dreams could introduce some natural hazards like rivers of lava or toxic fume pits for players to avoid. Maybe we could even get some meteors soaring overhead in the sky, or at least some ambient sounds to emulate space rocks hurtling into the atmosphere. A map concept that I think would be perhaps the most visually unique would be a mix of cold taiga and dwarf boreal forest. Aesthetically, I think a map like this could be very appealing. I'm imagining the more open ground covered in red and maroon shrubbery, with large rock formations covered in various mosses and small pockets of evergreen forest dotted around the landscape. I think even adding in some mountainous terrain with snow would be so visually eye-catching and unique, and add some beautiful variety to the maps in Dinosaur Hunt. Instead of fog as a weather effect, maybe we could get some light snowfall to add to the cold northern atmosphere. The skies could remain overcast no matter when you hunt. I've seen that CG Skies has some lovely overcast skyboxes, and that, coupled with the snowy areas, could really sell that this is a much cooler climate than the hot jungle tropics and deserts we're used to. If nighttime hunting gets added, it'd also be so awe-inspiring to have the clouds open up at night and see an aurora dancing in the night sky. This is the map concept that I, personally, would want to see the most, and it'd even be a pretty cool homage to maybe name this hypothetical taiga map after one of the original Carnivores Ice Age maps. An area that I think would be really challenging to hunt in would be some kind of swamp or marsh or wetland environment. The most prominent hunting tactics in Dinosaur Hunt currently revolve around going to each of the island's water sources to check for drinking animals. But if the entire reserve was one giant water source, I think it could really shake up how we hunt. Of course, the map wouldn't be all water. I'm imagining some pockets of land here and there, but primarily some shallow marshes with lots of swampy vegetation and fallen logs and a very tight canopy to give off a very creepy, almost claustrophobic atmosphere. This is a map where I feel the fog weather effect could really come in handy, or at least some more of that late day mist we sometimes see in the dusk versions of each map, to make the environment seem even scarier and more primordial than anywhere we've hunted before. I think it'd also be really interesting to have some areas where the mud is so thick that the player could get slowed down while moving through it, to give us some more natural hazards to avoid, or even some additional rain weather effects to obscure our vision further. Plus, swamps in general are just kinda creepy, which means that some spooky Easter eggs would fit in really well here. And the last map concept that we're going to talk about today would be an open fern prairie broken up by or even bordered by forested pockets of giant redwood trees. Of course, the obvious go-to references I'm thinking of for this map would be the locations used to represent the Jurassic period from Walking with Dinosaurs. Lush, open fern prairies, sparsely covered in cycads and ginkgo trees, with towering redwoods lining the horizon. I'm imagining this one as a very peaceful, tranquil map. Some soft, gentle terrain, not much in the way of mountains or harsh weather or natural hazards. I think it'd be neat to kinda have the redwood forests divide the map into sections, with each open section composed of ferns and cycads where the herbivores graze, while the predators use the cover of the redwood forests to hunt. This map concept in particular might seem pretty simple and even pretty similar to other maps already in the game, like Delphius Hills. But I think using the giant redwood trees to kinda break up how the map is structured would be an interesting twist that mixes up how and where we hunt. Alright, so there you go guys, these are my top picks for what kinds of new maps I'd like to see added to Dinosaur Hunt when the game is ready for DLC. Of course, all of these are just hypothetical concepts that I came up with. None of this is confirmed to be in the game. But that's a part of the fun of speculating about what a new game can bring. And as always, be sure to let me know what you guys think of these map concepts in the comment section below. And what new map ideas or locations or features would you guys like to see added to the game? Thanks as always for watching guys, you are all truly the best. And I will see you guys next time.